Greetings, Edlings. I want to talk to you today about something called the option process. This is something I learned when I went to the Option Institute, uh, and I studied with Barry Neil Kaufman and his wife Samaria. That's Kaufman, Kaufman. And this is not his original idea, but this is something that he's adopted for himself, and it's really the crux of um, their program there for the Happiness Project, the Happiness Program, or whatever you want to call it, at the Option Institute. And he has several books that he wrote, but the one that I like the best is called Happiness is a Choice. And so I highly recommend that book. It's very inspiring, and there's two parts to the option process. The first part is what I'm going to show you today, and then the second part is a dialogue, which you can do with yourself or with a partner to just help you work through any negative feelings that you might have, like frustration, sadness, angry, or whatever. So here's how it goes. The idea is there's a stimulus. That's the event, whatever happened. And for today, I'm going to use the example of, like, let's say you had a spill. And I'm not talking about just a little spill. I'm talking about like a large glass of water has spilled all over the counter, and it has gotten everything on the counter wet. All your papers, everything is wet. And to top it all off, you're on your way to bring the kids to school, and you have to go drop them off so you can get to work on time. So you're also in a hurry. That's the stimulus. You had a big spill, and you're in a hurry. And the stimulus is what leads to what most people think. Well, some people think that the stimulus causes the feeling, and which in this case, the feeling is mad. And then you might start piling on to that by blaming yourself, which is kind of guilty, frustrated, and you might feel really anxious because now, you're running late. So a lot of feelings are coming in here, or maybe you're just mad. So a lot of people think that the spill caused the feeling, whatever it is. But the option process, or the option, this idea tells us that there's a thought or a belief in between the stimulus and the feeling. See that? So the choice that you have here comes in right there. There's a moment where you have a choice of what you're going to think about this situation, and what you're going to, choose to believe about the situation. That leads to the feeling. So if you want to feel happy, the idea is you choose a thought here that leads you to feel happy, and not a thought. You reject beliefs and thoughts that make you feel this way. So, and then you add here, this is a pause. But if you add a breath during the pause, that helps your brain to switch on to a logical mode of thinking before you move on. So you had a spill, so you're thinking to yourself, you want to pause and breathe right there, and choose a thought or belief that leads you to feel happy. That's basically it, instead of these feelings. So what happened with me is I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that. I just went straight to the thoughts of, well, sometimes we think it's a trigger. It's just a trigger. We don't know why we feel that way. We just do. But the idea is that there's always some thought or belief behind the trigger. And in my case, it was probably I'm mirroring the way my parent would have reacted. So I got really mad, Or it might be that, and of course the thought or belief would be, that this is a catastrophe, and it's my fault. I must be such a klutz. And then you pile on that by and if you're like me, that these thoughts come in pretty rapidly. Going to be late, or can't be late. Okay, so, and I wasn't able to catch myself here. I wasn't really practicing this. But even if you have something happen and you're not able to, respond this way and choose a better thought, which would be a better thought, a healthier thought, one that would lead you to be calm instead of angry, would be something like, taking stock. First you're going to ask yourself, why am I getting so upset over this? It's just a spill. And then you might tell yourself, it's just a spill. It's just a spill. It's okay. Or I can be late. But first you need to calm down. So that's your first step here. Calm down. So if you need to walk away from it and take some deep breaths, whatever you need to do to calm down. Because your peace is more important than being on time. Most of the time. Your peace is more important than getting it all cleaned up perfectly right this second. Your peace is more important than anything, especially if your child is there watching you, because then you start acting, mad and everything, and then they're going to start marrying you. They're going to start feeling those feelings because they're going to have the same reaction. So, anyway, I hope maybe this helps somebody today. And the author that I was talking about, his name is Barry Neal. Kaufman. And again, he has adopted this for his program, but he's not actually the, original person who came up with this. It's been around for a long time. So, anyway, I hope maybe this helps somebody today. Have a wonderful night, Earthlings, or a wonderful day. You are beautiful inside and out.